Okay, next we're going to talk about graphing lines, and I'm going to talk about two particular ways to graph lines. One, we're going to use the slope-intercept form, and the other we're going to use the x and y intercepts. So first let's talk about graph using the slope-intercept form of a line. Okay, so I'm going to describe to you how I can graph these lines here. Okay, so first of all, I have this line given in slope-intercept form, y equals minus 3/2 x plus 4. Okay, so what do we know? Well, we know the slope is negative 3/2, and we know the y-intercept is the point 0, 4. So the first thing you want to do is plot the y-intercept. So here's the origin. Pretend like you don't see the line yet. So here's the origin, 0, 0. So the point 0, 4 is right here. So the first thing you would do is you would plot that point. Okay, and then you would remember that the slope is negative 3/2. So we can think of that as negative 3 on the top and 2 on the bottom. And remember, slope represents rise over run. So we can get another point from this graph by rising a negative 3 units. Well, when I say rise negative 3, that would mean go down. So we would rise negative 3, so we would go down 3 units, and then we would run 2 units, and since that's positive, that means we would go to the right. So we could go down, 1, 2, 3, and then run 1, 2 to the right, and then we would plot this other point. Now I labeled it here for you. It's the point 2, 1, but really you don't have to label it at this point. And now if you want to, you actually could just draw the line by just drawing the line that goes through these 2 points. But if you want another point just to make sure that you're on the right track, you can do this again from here, and you can go down 1, 2, 3 again, and then go to the right 2 again, and you get another point. So you can see that all 3 of those points. So then you just get a ruler and lay it on those points, and then just draw that line through those points. Here's another example, same thing. Here it's in slope-intercept form. Now if it was given to you in the standard form, you could always convert it to this form, slope-intercept form. But here the slope is 4, and since I need a denominator, let's write that as 4 over 1. And we know the y-intercept is the point 0, negative 3. So first thing we do is, again, here's the origin, so we plot the point 0, negative 3, which would be right here. Again, pretend like the line's not there yet. So we plot that point 0, negative 3, and since the slope is 4 over 1, and slope represents rise over run, we know to get another point we could rise 4, which would mean we go up 4, and then run 1, which means we would run or go to the right 1 unit. So to get another point, I would go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I would run 1 unit to the right. And then if I wanted another point from there, I could rise 1, 2, 3, 4 again, and then run 1 unit to the right. And then of course just get a ruler and draw the line through those 3 points. And that's how you graph a line using the slope and the y-intercept. Now another way to graph lines, and I usually like this method when the line is given to me in standard form, but another way to graph lines is to find both the x and the y-intercept. So one way to find these intercepts, to find the x-intercept, you simply let the y value be 0 and solve for x. And to find the y-intercept, you let the x value be 0 and solve for y. So let's find the x-intercept here. If we let y equal 0, then that would make that term disappear, and you would get the equation 2x equal 12. And then if you divide both sides by 2, you get y equals 6. So we know the x-intercept would be the point 6 for x and 0 for y. Now if you want to get the y-intercept, we would let x be 0, and if you let x be 0, that makes this term disappear, and so you would get negative 3y equal 12, and then if you divide both sides by negative 3, y would be negative 4. So the y-intercept would be the point 0, negative 4. And that's all you need to graph this line, because it only takes 2 points. So you would go to the Cartesian coordinate system and then plot these 2 points. And then if to plot 6, 0, again, pretend like the line's not there, you would plot the point 6, 0 right here. And then the point negative 4, you would plot, you go down 4 from the origin, and you'd plot that point. And then you would just get a ruler and draw the line through those 2 points. Okay, here's another one. And I wanted to show you this one just to show you that the numbers don't have to be friendly numbers. Here, if you let y equal 0, you're going to get x equals 7. So the x-intercept is the point 7, 0. But if you let if you let x equal 0, then you get minus 2y equals 7. So y would be negative 7/2. So the y-intercept would be the point 0, negative 7/2. So you have to know that negative 7/2 is negative 3.5. So now we can plot these 2 points and draw the line through them. So the x-intercept is the point 7, 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 7, 0. And then the y-intercept is 0, negative 3.5. So go down 1, 2, 3.5. And that'll give you your y-intercept. And then you just get your ruler and draw the line through those 2 points. And that's basically how you graph lines. Now, there might be a situation when you have a line that only has one intercept. So if the line were to go through the origin, then it really only has one intercept point, and that would be the origin 0, 0. In that case, you could select an x value and find a corresponding y value to get another point. Let me show you an example here. Let's say that 2x minus 3y equals 0. Well, here, if you let x equal 0, then you'll get that y equals 0, or if you let y equal 0, you'll get that x equals 0. So the only intercept is the point 0, 0. So we know this line goes through the point 0, 0, which I've tried to highlight right here. So it goes through that point. Now, to find another point, you could let x be a number. I chose to let x equal 3. And, you might try other values, but I tried to find a number that would give me a whole number and not a fraction. So I chose to let x equal 3. Now, if I let x equal 3, then in this equation it would become 2 times 3, which is 6. So I'd have 6 minus 3y equals 0. And then I could solve that for y. And if you solve that for y, you would get 6 equals 3y, and then you divide both sides by 3, and you get y equals 2. So that gives me another point. That gives me the point when x is 3 that y is 2. So I just go down here and plot that point, go over 1, 2, 3, and then go up 1, 2, and that gives me the point 3, 2. And then once I do that, then I can just draw the line through those 2 points. Just give me a second here, I'll get it right in a minute. Okay, and then you just draw the line through those 2 points, and that's how you graph a line that goes through the origin. You just have to find a second point on the line. You know the origin is 1 point, and so you just find a second point on the line. Okay, so that completes this video. In the next video, I'll go ahead and show you another form of the line that's helpful, called the slope form, the point slope form of a line, and we'll do that in the next video.